And we're back with another episode of the AC Milan Zone Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, thank you for all the ones tuning in live. Please leave us some comments. We're going to read the whole chat and make sure we read your input and comment on it. If you're watching this either live or the recording after, please take a second, drop a like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. I'm Stefano, joined by my friend Oscar. Welcome back, Ozzy. How you doing?
Thank you, Stefano. Yeah, I'm doing okay. The result, not so much. We did get to have a little therapy session straight after the game, so I feel this podcast will be a bit more constructive rather than just ranting.
I
But
do
I'm
love the live
excited
reaction, actually. I think you're right. I think it is very cathartic. And I like it. We've been having some great input from the chat as well. I feel like it's very much a therapy session in those tougher games like the one with Genoa.
Yeah. And we get to show our emotion, like our raw emotion after an up and down game like the Genoa game was, especially those 95th minute. I was still sort of not adrenaline rush, not like that, but
Absolutely.
juices were flowing. Let's say.
Absolutely. It was a crazy game. We have a lot to talk about. We play again tomorrow. We're in the thick of it. This part of the season isn't going to be particularly busy for us, and it's not going to stop. We'll get to Fiorentina. Obviously, we have Como coming up as well. So Allegri's boys must be ready because the season just keeps on going. But first, we must talk about this. I was almost going to say defeat. Like during our live reaction, it felt like a loss. Even though we were one kick away from losing ourselves. Absolutely crazy game. Give us the overview. What do you think about just a couple sentences, the general outlook and comment on the game?
The game. Yeah, tricky game. Drop points again against bottom of the league or towards the bottom of the league, which just seems to be the story for us. It was not a particularly exciting. Well, I mean, it was exciting in the end, but just from a pure footballing perspective, it wasn't that fun to watch necessarily. We could probably have gotten away with a win, but yeah, here we are again losing points.
So you see this as more as lost points, or got away with it. Again, as we said, we tied it up in the 92nd minute, and they had that kick. So it's more lost point in your mind, or is it okay, another Allegri sort of stroke of luck, and we're happy with the draw?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can say both. If it wasn't for that penalty at the end, obviously we would be talking more about losing points rather than being saved, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's one of those. It's one penalty kick away from changing the narrative almost. So I think we need to look at ourselves as a team. I say we as if I'm in the changing room. I wish I was with the boys. But it's looking kind of dire to a certain extent, but it's not panic stations.
Agreed. I think the big conversation after our last victory was, okay, Milan win, Milan are towards the top of the league, but this can't continue. We can't continue scoring off the first shot on target in the game. Allegri's Milan doesn't create enough and all this. They just don't concede, but this is not sustainable. And this game was almost the opposite. We created a lot of chances. The stats are almost kind of ridiculous. 2.45 expected goals, which is a lot for us. 32 shots, 25 shots in the box.
Crazy.
That's wild. But nothing came of it. And I feel like we were pretty solid in the back. Genoa did not offer a lot. They were struggling. They played some smart football, especially I thought Vitinha had a good impact. They found the goal, of course, goal dell'ex, even though he's not proper X because he still does belong to us. And I do want to talk about Colombo at some point. I want to pick your mind on him. Off a Gabbia mistake, which we'll get to. But, I feel like if we play this exact game 10 times, we win 9. So I do tend to agree.
Yeah.
Tend to agree with you. But this is a new, improved format of our podcast. We have segments, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have yet like little music and songs and little stingers for the segments, but maybe in the future, depending if the budget gets upped on this production. Let's talk about the general verdict. Give me a hero of the match for the Rossoneri and a culprit. Who's your top and your flop?
Yeah, I think we will know who the flop is, but the hero I think has to be Leao. He's playing 50%. He's playing injured. Not his best game. We know he can't accelerate, so he loses his threat. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
he's like a full Krug and can box around in the or fight defenders off in the box like that. He lives on his pace. He lives on his acceleration, taking players on one on one. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, he finds that he saves us a point in the end, and he has to be the hero. I think it's always either people love Liao or people hate Liao. We are definitely a
Definitely.
pro Liao podcast, which I love.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that he is injured, and how much it affects a player like Liao. I mean, take Mbappe for example. Imagine if he couldn't accelerate, would he be the same Mbappe? No, of
Yeah.
course not. Like any player, really. So he's definitely my hero of the match. Um, we had some good performances all round. I could maybe say Bartesaghi, but he played well, but he's not really like the hero. So I would say Liao is my hero of the game.
That's a very interesting pick. I think you're definitely right. There's a lot of contrasting emotions and conversations in the online and in the Milan fan base. A lot
Yeah,
of people still talking about his lack of mentality. He wasn't that present. It is kind of crazy. Even the commentators that I was listening to in English feed was saying that he was disappointing, and it's like he's clearly hurt. This is also not a secret. This is not a tinfoil. Oh, he's not 100%. He's missed time. Allegri keeps saying he has a problem. He has this problem in his thigh. They're very scared it's gonna evolve into a pubalgia, which we've seen a lot of players get this year, Yamals of the world, which would sideline him for a long time.
hmm
So they don't want that to flare up. So they've tried to sideline him and told him basically not to sprint. As you said, this is
crazy.
Leao's part of the game. I mean, we saw it, I think, in the first half. 101, we've seen him do this a million times where he just takes it. Sometimes, most of the times it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he's never shied away from, little step over, kick the ball to the side, and just overpower and outpace his
Just
defender. Didn't
cook
even
them.
attempt it. Didn't even attempt it. Didn't even think about it. Shot the ball at him. It's not there, and it's kind of crazy to me that he's getting criticized, especially because before used to be like, oh, he does all of this, but doesn't score. Is not there. Now he's scoring, and it's like, oh, he's not. Yeah. So I agree. We're a pro
Yeah,
Leo podcast. He did find a good goal, completely unmarked in the box, which is funny. Maybe his reputation as a man who just refuses to head the ball preceded him. I'm not sure. But I honestly liked his mentality too. I think we were watching right before going live the last few moments, and we saw the goals together live. And we're like, where is he going? What, like, go on the pitch. We need to score. We need to score. Why are you going off?
yeah.
And I don't know if you saw this, why he wasn't going on the pitch, because he went up to Fofana, which we'll get to. We got a lot of comments about Fofana to
Oh,
sort of hug him and say, "Hey, we do this together." And that's the sort of leadership that everyone asked of Leao, to be a true leader and sort of a tentpole player in the locker room. So I agree with you. I will defend Rafa forever. He scores yet again. He's injured. It's kind of worrying to me that we don't know exactly what it is, and like,
yeah.
when is he be able? Okay, he's not able to sprint today. He's not able to sprint tomorrow. Is he gonna be able to sprint by the end of the season?
Yeah,
I
is
sure hope
is he
so.
just skipping? Is he just skipping training sessions? Is he doing personalized training and that's
Yeah.
it? Are we gonna give him a break, like a 2 week break somewhere where you can get back to full fitness or full health? I'd
Yeah.
rather. I mean, we know that full Krug has only been in Italy for what, a week and a half or like 10 days, so I'm sure we'll see. We can talk about it later, but I'm sure we'll see him with Pulisic maybe
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
playing a half injured Pulisic and a half injured Leao together. It's worrying though that we don't have anything else and then we're relying on an injured player to win games for us or tie games for us.
Yeah, it very much is. We have a question actually from Twitter about this, so we'll get this we'll talk about it more. I think it's a very interesting topic too, and one that makes sense, that might give Max some food for thought. But we'll get that in the Q&A part. If Liao is your hero, who was your culprit, your flop, your shadow, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah,
Who let us down? I think.
I think it's easy. It's so easy to pick Fofana. It is,
Hmm.
right? Because of that slip. Because it's so hilarious. It's such a monumental slip. I mean, the XG must have been 0.98.
That's the thing. No
uh,
XG, right? If you two, because no shot. So the
Yeah,
2.45 doesn't include that, which should be
wild. Yeah,
point 0.9.
yeah, and I don't think Fofana played a particularly poor first half. You know, like if we're gonna look over the full time he played, did he play terribly? I don't think he played terribly. That miss just blows it out of proportion, and it's very easy just to say Fofana. But I might lean towards saying Fofana. But I was the second player. It's Gabia. We were talking about this on our live reaction when we got somebody said in the chat that he should be benched, and we came to the conclusion of, well, it's he's been out injured a bit. He's still coming back into the start. Well, he's just coming back into the starting 11, but I think it was really poor man marking on Colombo. He It's like sort of sort of basic defender training is that if you're gonna have him be able to, you leave him the room to run into, you need to be on this guy's back straight away.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of shirt pulling from both of
Yeah,
them.
and
So
a
I can't
slip
say,
as
oh, it
well.
should have been a foul. And a slip, so maybe that's not good, but he should probably be looking at closing down that space right in front of Mignon. And maybe Mignon could have acted differently. So it's between Gabia and Fofana. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say Fofana for that miss. I think it's an inexcusable miss. It just is. Like we've been bantering, when he did that dribble, and then he kind of scuffs the ball. This one though is just absolutely inexcusable.
Yeah, then I think
It sounds harsh. I'm not trying to be rude.
let's mix up a little bit of segment. I'm throwing up on the screen some of the questions that you all submitted on Instagram. Thank you so much to everyone in the community who chimes in. We do read pretty much all your messages, or try to. So definitely keep them coming. Even if we don't get to you directly, we will get to it. Yes, there is also some a little hyperbole. I did not censor any of this. But everyone wanted us to talk about Fofana, rant about Fofana, opinions of Fofana. Is Fofana worse than Hitler? All right, everyone, let's calm down. Look,
Do we want to talk about? Are we going to delve into that?
I specifically, am maybe alongside Max Allegri, maybe the only Fofana defender. So I knew what was coming. The comments, the DMs on Instagram were flowing in heavy towards me for Fofana. It was a rough slip. Also, we were talking about this in the live reaction. I would have loved it to be a more obvious slip almost, because it's almost like it's not that you don't. I mean, I'm sure he does slip on the pitch, like physically, but it's not. You don't see him plant the foot and then just kind of Evid the sort of the rug pull under him. It's like you mentioned it very well in the live reaction. It's like he tries to set his feet and he's just uncoordinated. Bambi on ice and he just kind of falls over.
Yeah.
Like he tries to move both feet at the same time and then ducks under the ball. It's rough. It's very rough. What I will say though is I do hate that our fan base is the first one to criticize our own players. This is football. All fans are gonna have opinions. All the other fans are going to banter us for this, as it should be. You can now say that you don't like Fofana, you don't want him to start. But it feels like, especially right now, his play is affected by the pressure that is put on mostly by our own fan. And that, to me, is pure ridiculous. I'm throwing up right now on the stream an Instagram story that he put out, black and white picture of him upset on the pitch with the caption "Mi dispiace tanto" and then a prayer emoji, which means basically I'm very, very sorry. We're not helping anyone by posting nothing but abuse. The memes of him with the Timberlands. I wish we were a better fan base. I feel like we are really the first one. It's the same thing we talked about at the beginning of the year with Leao. And again, football fans are gonna have their opinion. I get it. We also have our opinion. We literally have a podcast and an Instagram page and a social media thing about Milan. But it's ridiculous. This is why I was also very happy to see Rafa go console him. I do wonder if the 45th minute sub was a little bit of Allegri's call, or to be honest, and this is fully in my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fofana was just like, I'm out. Like that took me out. I can't, sub me out.
Yeah.
And that's really rough because he's been good this season as well.
Yeah, it becomes a mental block for him, and it's just going to affect him in the second half, and he's just going to be thinking about that miss. So it's better to put someone else in, especially now when we have a bench for it. It's not like we had to put in Atikama and then move Selemakers in or something like that to center mid. We have the facilities in center mid, so I think it was a good call, whether it was Allegri or Fofana.
Yeah, it makes sense. What I will say also is that you really need to watch out what you ask for, because Fofana may have had that awful miss, but his substitute came on and ghosted yet again. Look, we want to talk
Yeah.
about Richie in the comments. I don't disagree. I want to let's see some Richie. I think Fofana should continue to start, because not right now with the mental juju, but my main Fofana, who sure sometimes skies some shot, has showed even more than Richie, to be honest, and I love Richie, that he helps us produce more, great assists, couple goals. But you want to talk about Richie? Want to see Richie? Okay, I'm with you. Do not bring up to me Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I don't want to see the man. I don't want to see him play. He's useless. I want to see him in the last 15 minutes when everyone is gassed, so he can put a performance. If we need someone maybe on the wing, we want to throw in someone for a big body, even though I've yet to see him actually put a header on target. But do not bring up Ruben Loftus-Cheek to me, please do not. Yeah, that's the only thing I'll say. In terms of Fofana rant, look, I don't know. I feel like people wanted us, and maybe it'd be good for views to be, very, very harsh on him and do a proper rant. I don't know. I don't feel
Oh,
good.
what is there to rant? Yeah, what is there to rant about? Like I know I mentioned it. It's an inexcusable miss, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I thought he'd have a decent 45 minutes. Milan weren't great either as a team. Like it's not that Fofana's sticking out like a sore thumb in his gameplay. He does a lot of the work behind the scenes and lets perhaps other center mids shine, uh, which we can get into later in my pessimist corner. Um, yeah, why should we go on about Fofana? It was one big mistake and it was comical. It is quite hilarious to watch,
It is,
but
yeah. If we win that game, I think we're all laughing a lot more. But yeah.
yeah, no, but at the end of the day, it wasn't just because of that. Like this isn't like in the 93rd minute that he's missing it. This is, yeah. If he'd scored that, we'd have a goal on the board a lot earlier. The game might have changed, but yeah, like you mentioned, Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on, and where was he? The moist particles were nowhere because he just stands around. It feels like.
Yeah, I'm very happy not to see Ruben Loftus-Cheek play for a little while, which I don't know. I think Max is pretty set in his roles. Like, it takes a while for him to change once you see a player in a certain position. So to me, which is why Rich and Jashari haven't played this last two games, which is very surprising. But to him, it's very much Modric. That position, it's either Modric or Jashari. Rabiot or Ricci is his second, and the last position is Fofana, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, unless obviously there's emergency, but he's going to be set in his ways. But I sure hope that changes. We are, as you anticipated, getting close to your pessimistic corner. That's up next. But before, because you did mention Gabbia, a couple things connected to Genoa's goal. First of all, yes, big mistake. I do think that, the error is the spacing before, is a long ball. There's such a big gap between our strikers and the low block that we have, that they're allowed to push up so much, and then they basically have the ball at the edge of the box and able to think and whip and across.
Yep.
They need to be pushed out more. So I think if Gabi obviously did make a mistake, you're absolutely correct. But as I said, if you are 1-on-1 with their main striker in the small box, not even the goalkeeper's box, you've already lost. Like, there's already a problem. What do you think of Colombo? He struggled, as in has some great seasons. He struggled in Genoa like everyone else before De Rossi came. Since De Rossi has come, I believe he's up to 4 goals, 2 assists for a team like Genoa, which we saw does not produce a lot. It's not like he's creating a lot. He scored a banger against, I forget, maybe Lazio. I'm going to get this wrong, so I'm not going to go on a limb, but great goal. 23 years old still. My dad actually texted me mid-game saying Colombo is not worse than Santi Jimenez. What do you think of his performance? What do you think of his maturity? And is he an actual viable option for us to bring back and have on the bench?
Yeah, I see. I don't see why not, and it's surprising that we still have, I guess, ownership, not ownership, but like have that he's still part of AC Milan and loaned out.
Hmm.
Because if you told me that he was 23, it feels like he's been around for so long, which he kind of has, because he was, let's just say, a young star. A star is a push, but coming up through our Primavera, right, and then he's just been on loan to these smaller clubs or like clubs that are quite far down. I think who was it? He scored a penalty in the last minute to save them from relegation. Was that 2 seasons ago? I can't
I
remember
think
who
so.
it was, but
Yes,
yeah,
Lecce
yeah.
must have been.
Why not? Yeah, Lecce. Why? And I think I agree with your dad. It's like he's not worse than Santi Jimenez. And young, hungry, seems to like Milan a lot. He didn't celebrate again. He said something in the press conference or an interview afterwards saying, I am from Milan. I am from here. Milan is still my team against my, I guess, boyhood club. Yeah, why not have him on the bench though? Because he seems hungry. He probably be a fantastic, 20-minute spell. He seems to now, at least in the game that I watched, be kind of not bullied Gabbia, but certainly made life worse for Gabbia. And Gabbia's a big guy. You don't really sort of brush him off. He seems to, I wouldn't say necessarily a fox in the box, but seems to have a very good touch. He's falling backwards when he's doing like that when he scores a goal, he's falling backwards. He still gets him on target. It's those small things that Santi Jimenez certainly hasn't done. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm surprised that we haven't recalled him or
yeah.
at least give him a chance from the start of the season.
Yeah, he was very physical. I thought, like, which is something obviously we're
Hmm.
missing. We saw Full Krug bring that sort of, and it was a little bit refreshing in the few minutes that he played. Obviously, we'll talk about him in a second as well. But I thought it was quite good, and yeah, it begs the question. Off the bench, we're not so good at giving these type of players the right minutes, and they often get stuck in the limbo of we either own him and they never get a chance, or we get out, they get out, and then uh, they either get sold because then we need space or the money, or they get loaned out, like it's happening to Camarda and Colombo, to teams, which is like, okay, they should get minutes, but then especially strikers, like they're sort of sent out to die. While I would love to
Hmm.
see more of a like a Pio Esposito. Now Pio Esposito is older than Camarda, but sort of a treatment where you get a real chance at it. Doesn't have to be starter, doesn't have to be massive minutes, but it's also different. Of course, at Genoa and at Lecce, you might play a little bit more, but if you get 3 touches in the box in 2 games, uh, what's the point?
Yes.
So it's interesting. I think it gives Milan some food for thought. It's one that wouldn't be expensive for once, obviously. So I thought that was very interesting. But as
Yeah,
we
and I think he would also suit our system quite well if we played either Leao with him or Pulisic with him.
true,
He can attract center backs, big center backs, and
yeah,
create space either in behind
yeah,
or in front of the back or in front of their back four. So yeah,
yeah. No, totally agreed. Um, and now we're sort of spoiled for choice. We keep on talking about strikers and the ones we have and Vlahovic and what we're gonna bring on. But Camarda and Colombo are there, and they're worth remembering. Santi Jimenez is there now. I don't feel full Krug. I think he's gonna do his 6 months and then go back. But he's there. What's happening with Nkunku? What's happening with Leao? What's happening with Pulisic? We'll see. I don't know if I trust management to necessarily have that vision and understanding, but I guess it's better to have more choices than not. Um,
yeah.
your pessimistic corner. What is a problematic that you saw either within the game or just a general trend that is cause for concern if you're a Milan fan?
Uh, that's a good question. My pessimist corner. I think I'm going to talk a bit about Modric, and it's not necessarily all Modric's fault. I think we've seen now when we're playing against, or the last few games where we've not been playing these big games like your Inters, your Juventus, your Romas, whatever, or Napoli's. I shouldn't say He's going missing. He's still got class, and that's why I'm saying it's not really Modric's fault, but that spark I feel like that we saw in the beginning of the season is kind of fading. He does. I shouldn't say he misplaces passes all the time, but and maybe it's Serie A teams taking him seriously, even though he's 40 years old.
Hmm.
Although they probably did take him seriously and try to prevent him from being the maestro he is. But I think it seems like it's a combo of having Pulisic and Leao being 50-50 or or being injured at the same time. But Modric in that position that he does when he drops deep or when he's on the turn, it doesn't seem to really be there anymore, and it's probably because he's playing way too much. And this is where maybe I'm asking Allegri to have a plan B. And I know if you've got Modric, saying fit and healthy but a bit tired, it's why not play him? But I think it seems like I shouldn't say that we don't have a plan B, but we rely heavily on certain players playing very good games in certain positions. And if a important player like Modric seems a bit lethargic, gets taken out the game a bit, then it's maybe a cause of concern. That not that he only performs in big games, but it's games like this where perhaps I wanted to see him shine a bit more. Not that I'm not saying he had a bad game, but it's kind of becoming a trend now, and a bit of concern. And hopefully he maybe gets a rest. Now that we've got Richie and Jashari on the bench, what Richie 22 million euros and Jashari 40 million euros just sitting on the bench. And I don't know if it was Fulani that signed them without Allegri's blessing or without Allegri's input, or yeah. But we need to sort of have a plan B, even though we're only playing about once or twice a week, not even twice a week.
Yeah, I fully agree. Again, you're right. He's such a quality player that he almost kind of like Pulisic. Well, for different reasons, but he almost never has a bad game, quote unquote, because he's just so central to our midfield and to our team, and still does so many things so well. But you do see a little bit of a strain. There was talk about players getting rested. We got the strongest possible lineup for this game, which probably shows that against Fiorentina you can expect some rotation. We'll get to that. So yeah, it's tough to say because as you rightfully pointed out, he didn't have a bad game. He always has a heavy amount of touches, 78. Just strong numbers in terms of the percentages, 93% pass accuracy. In our half and in their half, there stays about the same, 93, 91. But there's some hints here and there. He got dribbled past 2 or 3 times, especially the possession loss 9 is for him for quite high. As you said, no panic button. This is not a sub. Take him out. He's cooked. He's washed. But it is. Yeah, let's see. Let's get some other minutes, and especially late on in the game when we were attacking so much. I understand the logic. You don't sub out your best player. I tend to agree actually with that most of the time. But it's not that we're
Especially when he's the one pulling the strings outside the box when we parked inside their box almost. We were
yeah,
only in their final third, and they were parking the bus, and that's where Modric has the composure, finds the right pass, and we
break
saw that a
someone
lot.
down. Yeah,
Makes the right decision, right? The decision making in those kind of positions is crucial, and that's where we've been lacking the last 4 or 5 years. Even Benacer at his best is nowhere. Feel like almost nowhere near as good as Modric is now, but yeah,
yeah.
it would have been great to see a double pivot of Richie and Modric,
That's
I think,
that is exactly where I was
towards
going.
the last 10 minutes.
As always, you read
Ah,
my mind.
sorry.
Some of it is, hey, let's take him out, let's give him some rotation, let's watch Jashari play, who showed ability. Let's watch Richie play when we can, and even in the spot where you feel like you can't, like you're chasing a game against Genoa and you don't want to sub your best player out, and they're playing such low block that you want someone at least. You can ease him if you put, which is why I was so surprised that Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on. And even then, he loves Rabiot, and Rabiot's all over the pitch, and I get how important he is. But, the last couple minutes there, let's put in more of a double pivot, as you said. Let's put in Jashari, let's put in Richie alongside Modric. That allows him to be not always pushed and surrounded by so many players, because now they have 2 registas to worry about. It allows him to maybe go up a little bit up, find the pockets of space and the half spaces between the lines. I think that would have been very helpful. Hopefully we see a little bit more as we said, Max is pretty, you know, hard shelled in terms of the positions and which player and which positions. He also mentioned it, I think, last game. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I like to play players in their position. But I agree with you. It's no panic, but I would like to see some other options in terms of allowing to get some easier games even when we're chasing, or definitely some time off. And now I think, do you have anything else to add in your pessimistic corner? Are you happy with that?
No, I'm happy with that. Not so pessimistic. This was sort of a trend I thought I saw, and a trend that shouldn't get worse, hopefully. But I'm very happy to move on to the other segment, which is your highly underrated
We're so
player.
professional, man. We're so professional. Once I get the jingles, then this show is about to absolutely take off.
Oh, jingles! Get the jingles out.
We're not musically talented to create the jingles. I need to go on Fiverr and get someone to make me an absolutely awful jingle. Or if anyone watching here is musically talented and you want to drop some jingles, we will credit you and use them in the show. Highly underrated player of the game. I was actually between two, so maybe one is more obvious than the other. But the first one, I'll throw it up on screen right now, is Davide Bartesaghi. Um, Again, not everyone, I would say almost no one really shined in this game. As you said, a very difficult game for everyone. So it's not like he had a crazy performance, but it felt like every cross that he put in was a good ball. Every single cross. He's starting to take more of the free kicks and corners as well, which he deserves. When it came the moment to have the three strikers up front, and sub out one of the wing backs to put Ruben Loftus-Cheek there, I was sure it was going to be him, but he was playing well. So Max pulled Salemakers, which I think is a big hint about how much Bartolek has grown. You can see the confidence with which he now is happy to receive the ball even under pressure and play from the back. Again, a lot of things to improve on still, but that improvement is exponential in this season. I wish, again, someone was at the end of those crosses. Maybe Krug will be hopefully a little bit easier. And maybe we shouldn't cross so much once we only have Leao and Pulisic. But I thought he was great, and he's becoming more and more of a fixed starter for us. I'm hoping if Italy makes it to the World Cup, he can get some consideration at least to make the squad because of his versatility as well. And Italy does have some poacher strikers that could use the service. But yes, I thought he did very well. Davide Bartesaghi for me, something to be excited for, not just in this game and against Fiorentina, but for the rest of the season, hopefully much longer. Hopefully in the plans of renewals that the management seems to be doing with everyone, he's also considered.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good choice. He's getting more mature every single week now, every single game. We can see his quite a lot of his offensive side now. We know he's pretty solid at the back. It's great to have our own player, our own Milanista from our academy, growing up and being a Rossonero through and through. And eventually, this isn't a dig at you, but are his performances so underrated? Because it seems like he's doing these week in week out now.
True.
So it's fantastic that we're going to move him out of the corner. But I think I shouldn't say he's saved our season, but if you asked me, if you asked me 5 months ago, Bartisagi is going to have a very good season, I wouldn't laugh in your face, but I'd be very surprised. And Estupiñán should be nowhere near the starting 11 at
Yeah,
this point.
that's it. We would have hoped that he would have been good enough to be substitute in those against the smaller teams in Serie A. Instead, he's been much better than Stupinian, and he's taken up the spot. And he's not only taking up the spot because Stupinian has been bad, and so he's just slightly better than bad, and so he gets a starting shirt. But he's deserved it, and he's becoming a key player for us. 0.71 expected assist in a game like this. I think that also speaks volume. What did you think? Of course, the knock to him is the penalty that almost gives us the loss. What did you think of the penalty? Have you had a chance to look it through? A lot of conversations online and in the media. What did you make of it?
Yeah, It's again one of those where we're analyzing it frame by frame.
Hmm.
We're slowing it down to some ridiculous slow motion. I generally think it is a penalty if we're starting to zoom in to see if it clips his heel or not. He comes in clumsily. He
That's
kind of
true.
yeah pushes. I guess he yeah comes in clumsy, and I don't think clearly enough wins the ball with that intention. So I'm not too upset of them calling it a penalty against us.
Yeah, I think it could go that way. I tend to be very similar to you, but lean the other way. I don't think it's a penalty. He doesn't comes in clumsily. I totally agree, but he does fold the leg a little bit. Does touch the ball. To me, if you don't give the Tekame one and the Fulkrug one, um,
Yeah, that's true.
which I can live with. I think in an ideal world, those kind of half penalties aren't like I'm happy to play on. Then the one for Bartazagi also shouldn't. Thankfully, it doesn't matter. The penalty skied, perhaps also from some work from Strahinja Pavlovic taking out the penalty
Oh,
spot. I see a lot of conversation about that. I saw
he
some
got
Italian media saying, "Oh, for such a blatant comportamento antisportivo, shouldn't he be sent off?" And it's like, my God, everyone does
sent
it.
off.
Yeah, everyone, literally everyone does it. This is why all the penalty takers, they take the ball and then they circle around the thing. He got booked. Also, people
Yeah.
getting with talking about like how he got away with murder. The referee saw it, literally booked him because that's what the rules say. If a player does that, he should be booked.
Hmm.
He got booked. Like I don't understand. Like, yeah, it's yeah, there's much to do about nothing. But
Yeah, you'd think he insulted Jesus Christ himself with some chosen Italian words. So he got hung out to dry in on Twitter, and it is Twitter end of the day, and every team
Twitter's
or every fan base kind of
not a
does
real
this.
space, not a real place. Remember.
It's not a real space. It's I live there actually. Uh, every fan base does this. It could have been Lautaro Martinez. Maybe it was Mancini. Maybe it was Lookman. Maybe it was Barella. You know, it's always going to be highlighted, and it's going to be circling around, and it's almost like he's Judas, and he has betrayed Jesus H Christ himself. The way he's spoken about in the media after that red card. I mean, the rule book doesn't say so. It's
Yeah.
certainly not the most unsportsmanlike thing I've seen on a football pitch, especially at the San Siro. I mean, we could just remember at Cherby. I mean,
Yes.
that got feels like that. I mean, it was mentioned in media, but it wasn't covered enough. That's kind of unsportsmanlike kind of stuff. Not kicking up the penalty spot, which he got booked for, like you say. And nowadays, it's part of the routine for penalty takers and teams is to crowd that penalty spot and don't try to let anyone interfere or sabotage.
Yeah. No. Totally agreed. I thought it was silly, but again, yeah. It feels like I feel like it's also part of the big problem that we have with the refereeing. Now, the refereeing in Italy has been awful. The referees have done a lot of terrible things and mistakes this year. But it feels like we created this um, sort of losing cycle of each club complains because every time you complain you're complaining in order to get the next call, and the fans are watching the other teams so that you can just put out a tweet as soon as we saw it when Pavlovic touched Colombo in the shoulder and Colombo held his face. He was immediately like, oh, there we go, Milan is cheating, another one, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
and to me the first step to fixing his refereeing is obviously get better referees, but also I don't want to hear managers talk about the referee. I don't want Lazio to put out their stupid statement saying they've been damaged. I don't want Hoyland to be putting out a story saying, oh, they didn't even touch the ball with my hand. Like, all of those should be immediate fines, and not because the
Yeah.
referees are untouchables, but because it's just creating so much noise around them.
So
And
much pressure. Yeah.
yeah, and it doesn't help obviously that a lot of them are actually terrible. But I'd rather take a terrible referee who's not crowded as well with all this noise than with it. And it's, look, you can control what happens online and what the fans will say, but at least from managers, from clubs, from players, all of those should be fines. Um,
And one thing I noticed in this game particular, and it's been in a lot of games with the ref cam, is the amount of. I mean, you see it on the pitch, but you can see it like you can see it so much more clearly now with the referee cam. How much players crowd the referee.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
and it's for both teams. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Of
Genoa. I
course.
mean,
Yeah.
look at Milan. Milan do it. Inter do it. Everybody does it. And I'm not saying it should be like in rugby where don't you're not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and they only speak through captains. I think that's a bit too much. But I mean, if I was a referee, my head loss would be crazy. I'd be sending out yellow cards left, right, and center. Like,
Yeah.
if you take one more step and it's a red, I'm warning you, brother.
Yeah. It should be. It's just the thing that we always reminded it never happens. It should be by the rule book. The captain is allowed to speak, otherwise don't come at me. They get crowded so much. The whole VAR kind of makes it worse because now the crowding is to put pressure and to get the next call, like we were saying, but also is, oh, we need to stop the game. We need to attract enough attention to this that VAR is going to look at something and maybe there's a frame where something can go my way. So it's football. Players are always going to complain, but it feels like now they're actively complaining for stuff they even know that like might not be their way, but you just do it because maybe the frame will tell you. So you want them to look at it, and it's just bad. It's bad for the game. It's bad for the refs. But we'll see. I doubt this gonna get better, unfortunately. But to wrap up, and we were talking about Pavlovic. He was actually the other one that I was considering for highly underrated player of the game. A little bit of fault during the goal. He was one of the among with Rabiot who led that cross in a little bit too easily, but I wouldn't say a giant mistake. But 0.28 expected goals, 0.22 expected assists for center backs, 93 touches.
Took a free kick again.
Not quite as good as the one in Copa. I didn't see
No.
enough replays to see where it was going. But this was a pretty stacked lineup, so this means that they did some training, they saw him, and they like his shot, which is interesting. Very offensive in a game that we were chasing for a long time. He a lot of passion, a lot of progressive also actions with the ball. Just highly underrated. I think to me, he's by far the second best center back we have. Gabbia not being still number one. I don't care if he made a mistake; he's still number one.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather miss Tomori than miss Pavlovic right now. I just like this fight. I thought he did well.
I'm happy we didn't sell him.
I know. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about selling pretty much everyone, and now they're still the rock. With this management, you never know.
Yeah.
Right now, they're incredible. They're both gonna get renewed, and then comes June, one is going to Juve, and who knows what else. Okay, I think then that almost wraps up the game. We do have one more question actually from Twitter from Chris Oman. So thank you so much for putting it through. It is live now for the chat. And Chris says, Fulkrug should start. And since both Pulisic and Rafa are not at their best, they should rotate. Both are dynamic players, but Milan send so many crosses that without a real nine seem like wasted possessions. Having someone occupy the center forward spot to open up spaces for dynamism for Leao and Christian Pulisic. You sort of talked about this, mentioned to this. We saw Fulkrug getting some more minutes. Honestly, not a bad look. He almost scored. Probably got fault for a penalty that didn't get called. Seemed involved.
Step on foot.
The famous step on foot. But seemed to get involved and gave us definitely a look that we liked. This one was interesting because it was in the free strikers, the very rare free striker formation that we see here and now and then when we're in trouble. What do you think about this? Should now the Fulkrug, assuming he's getting more trainings and more fitness after his West Ham period of darkness, should he sort of be our main option? And Pulisic and Rafa, especially if they're not 100%, both of them, should Fulkrug get the starting position?
I mean, I think it's quite clear or quite obvious that he should. If he's in full health and now he's had almost a couple of weeks to get back or get into the swing of things, and with a injured Pulisic and an injured Rafa, why not rotate or see which one? Maybe Pulisic is probably the best shout instead of Rafa at this point. But what's the point of getting a number 9 of his stature, like his size, his build, the
literally
style of
stature,
play,
yeah.
and not yeah, literally stature, and not play him. Like we didn't sign him for depth or sign him. We didn't get him on loan for depth. It's kind of like, I should say, a panic loan, but we just need big dudes at the front. Allegri loves a big dude,
Do you love a big dude?
a big striker. I am one myself, so I would say yes.
Shout out big dudes. Shout out big. This is a pro big
Shout
dude
out big
podcast,
dudes.
and we want to make that clear. I think it's a very interesting proposition. I think maybe it could also help the option of the bench. I think will be interesting now that we have Christopher Nkunku hopefully come back after scoring 2 goals and disappearing. He's back in training, so he should be, knock on wood, available against Fiorentina. If you have a striker like Fulkrug, then maybe it does make sense to have more of those dynamic players around him, and also sort of use them as super subs. Does it sound ridiculous to use one of Leao and Pulisic as super sub? Probably, but if they're not 100%, then I'd rather have an intense Rafa Leao for 15 minutes rather than 90 minutes of one who can sprint. In Kunku right now, who's up and down, maybe does benefit to come off the bench in a game that's maybe has a little bit more spaces and tired opponents, and he can come in for that. But look, we saw it right away. Just the ability to body a defender, control the ball, and then lay it off. That helps Allegri's football so much because we're so deadly off the counter, and throwing up those balls to Rafa, who's done a little bit better job. To pour in Kuku, those though is when then it's more obvious, and I feel really bad. And it's like, come on, this is really not his style, and also like he's just so little, like it doesn't work out. So maybe it is an option already from Fiorentina to start seeing definitely some more heavy Fulcrum minutes and maybe even a start.
Yeah, and he just gives us a different type of an attacking threat, because I'm not saying that Leao, Pulisic, Nkunku, and Santi Jimenez are the exact type of player, but they're not. They feel somewhat similar because they're all playing out of position almost. You know what I mean? And yeah, Fulkrug is just you just need to do your ABCs. Just be big, be in the box, be a presence, make space for Leao or Pulisic, and get on the end of those crosses from Bakhtasagi or Salamakers or Modric.
And even the shot
simple,
got blocked in the box. That was probably a goal if it doesn't get blocked. If it looked like the ball was going in anyway. We don't have we saw a lot of times we're in the box and we're kind of struggling, and players try to find some flick, and sometimes you need that big body, that proper striker that puts his back to the defender, like we saw Giroud do a million times, use the defender to sort of turn around and say girato Giroud kind of moment, and Fulkrug almost had that, back to goal, turns around, half volley, and almost goes in. It's not something that we're gonna see Nkunku, Pulisic, and Leao pull off. Or even attempt most of the time. So that look is huge.
The big number 9s are coming back into fashion.
I know, no more false 9. It's all, at least in Serie A, everyone's looking for a striker. Not a lot of players, not a lot of teams have them. It's all 5 at the back, and the look for the mystical striker number 9. That's gonna give you some goals. Then all that's left, I guess, Genoa, I think we can put behind us. We do have the game to preview out of that. Do you want to do a little game time? Another new segment that you only get on the Prime podcast, that is AC Milan Zone. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw a list of, and we were speaking of Fulkrug, and he's just signed for us, and he took our ever cursed number 9 that was somewhat broken by Giroud. He is your classic type of number 9. So I was gonna go and rattle through the number 9s that we've had throughout the years, and you can say whether you think they provided something for Milan, or whether they were worth the money and the time, because we know that we're dreadful when it comes to our number 9s, apart from
the curse. Okay, go ahead, I'm ready.
So before Fulkrug, we had Luka Jovic.
Ooh, he's tough. I want to say honestly, probably worth, just because his minutes to goal ratio was insane. He was honestly a player that right now could probably work well. He was not a number 9 that was gonna bring up the whole attack by himself. But
a good sub.
A good sub, yeah. And if in a different system, maybe would have shined a little bit more. But I feel like he got his definitely at the end his revenge. A lot of important goals and a lot of key goals of very few minutes played.
I missed that one Twitter account. That was a Luka Jovic fan account.
He's still
That
there.
I
He's
love
still
whoever
going
was running
strong,
that.
but
Shout out to you. But it's for AEK Athens now instead.
it doesn't hit quite the
Yeah,
same.
the hater. No, it doesn't. So right, Luka Jovic. So you say yes, fair enough.
Yeah,
Giroud. Don't even need to speak about
yeah,
it.
obvious, yes.
Uh, Ma- Mandzukic.
Yeah, Mandzukic, I think every Milan fan forgets that he plays for us. Look, it was
0 goals.
yeah. I don't even remember much of him playing. Obviously, no, but it was one of those where, yeah, we could get him on a free. I think in January, no.
It
This
was
is
in January. Yeah.
this it will go down in the history as the full Krugs and Endos of the world. So. I actually love Mandzukic as a player in general, but
Yeah.
unfortunately not for us.
So it's a no. Yeah. Piontek.
I should have brought the bubble head. It's in the other room. I'm prepared. I'm
The
prepared.
bobblehead.
Um, he had a crazy good start and then kind of faded away. We just paid too much money for the overall output, so it's a no for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Higuain. Gonzalo Higuain.
For us overall, a no as well. He one of those that he came and was happy to just sort of chill, gain some weight, and live it up. Absolutely underrated player in terms of like people forget Premier League fans. Saw him missing a sitter in the final and think he's trash. Prime Higuain is better than Prime Drogba. He was a monster. Napoli was a monster. Juve.
It was.
The output that he was in terms of sheer numbers is incredible. But for us, it's a no.
It's a no. Yeah. No, I have to agree with you. Then we have probably almost a record signing. Andre Silva.
Giant no.
Yeah. Such a
Unfortunately,
shame. I was so hopeful.
me too. I do think it was just another one wrong place at the wrong time. Sort of
Yeah.
by the end of the Bante
Victim
era,
of
we were not doing
circumstance.
a lot. With Giampaolo, didn't know where he was gonna play, and Suso. But yes, there's a lot of mistakes. But even in the right place at the right time, he wouldn't have been what we paid for him and what we were hoping he was gonna be.
Yeah.
But yes, underachieved even beyond that. So no.
Next one is Lapadula.
I, um,
I'm panicking because I'm
mean-
reading through these myself. Like, where Jesus Christ?
it's tough.
What?
It's obviously a
How?
no. I mean, he's a Serie B striker. Like that's his range. That being said, for me, it's a yes. The same way that in the context of how terrible we were in the Bante era and the team that he was in the same way like Cutrone is a big yes.
Yeah.
The man just fought. And we were terrible, and he's not that good, and he's a starting Serie B striker at best. But I appreciate,
He had the Peruvian dog in him.
yeah, I appreciate anyone who just fights. I feel like in any team, just that is half the job. So within the context, well, let's give Lapadula yes, which is depressing.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, 'cause some of them are like, we've signed them for nothing, or we didn't have big expectations. But I agree with all of these that you're saying. Luis Adriano.
Another again Bantera, wrong place, wrong time. No for me. Just not
Yeah.
much. I was a little bit more hopeful. We knew he was in a banger of a player, but no
Those
thanks.
Shakhtar Donetsk boys. Those Brazilians getting shipped out left, right, and center for crazy deals.
Yeah, the Zerbi let
Crazy
them
amounts.
shine, and then they overperformed a little bit there, and
Yeah.
no,
Mattia Destro.
giant no. He was just trash.
Fernando Torres.
Yeah, came a little bit washed. And this is back when we were trying to still hang on to big names that were maybe a couple seasons past their prime. For Torres was even a little bit more. I'll give him a yes just because being my age, our age, growing up, loved Torres. Loved Torres to death in Spain,
Torres.
in Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, just loved them. Just loved them.
it's just I just have this image of him having long sleeved Liverpool top with his hairband,
Yeah,
with his
flowing
long
hair.
hair,
Yeah,
and the yellow total 90 boots, just skipping
yeah.
past defenders, making them look like they weren't even there.
Yeah,
Uh,
Joca
some
Bonito.
good
Yeah,
runs.
he. I mean, at Liverpool, he had, and this is saying a lot, and maybe sacrilegious, but like Sheva vibes in terms of like his body, and it looked like, and maybe it's the hair as well, and the just the cross goal shots, the
Yeah.
power, the ability to shoot freely, and then he got obviously injured and never really recovered. But love
Pe-
me some
pe-
Fernando
pe-
Torres.
people forget that he was the only person who scored in the Euro 2008 final against Germany, so that they won 1-0, I think, Spain. People forget that. Everyone's like, "Oh, David Villa," but
Yeah,
Torres was there first.
yeah, and he had some
Um,
talk about big game players. He had some big goals in Champions Leagues, in Euros, in World Cups. No, key player.
yeah, he gave us the infamous Gary Neville moan.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
Alessandro Matri.
No.
I know we're not
Trash.
that kind of podcast, but maybe even a yes because he has a beautiful wife and a beautiful family. But not that kind of
Beautiful.
podcast.
Shout out to you, Alessandro Matti. You've done well.
Shout out. Yeah. Alexandre Pato. And now this is the one where I think we spoke about this in one of our segments on Instagram.
Hmm.
He was better as a seven as when he wore
Yeah,
seven.
and more known as a seven, but as a player, massive yes. One of Milan's maybe football's biggest what ifs.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable
Breaks
talented,
my
and you see
heart.
the Milan legends that played with him, the Maldinis, the Cafus. Everyone talk about him and say in training he was a monster on the pitch. He was even better in training. The power that he had at 18, 19 with his frame was insane. So
Yeah.
quick, incredible dribbling, ball attached to his foot. Good in with his head as well, even though he wasn't super tall. Literally could do it all. Just a monster of a player.
He was gonna take over from Ronaldo R9 for the Brazilian national team, and
Yeah,
Adriano and all these kind of, I shouldn't say washed at the time, but 2009, 2010, where they were a bit older. He was supposed to lead the charge, and imagine him and Neymar
yeah. And
could
obviously he
have
never
could have
became
maybe
that.
seen
But
a
honestly,
sixth
R9
star.
is the closest comp in terms of obviously he was never as good as R9. Relax,
Yeah.
everyone in the comments. I can already hear the typing. But in terms of just how complete, he wasn't maybe as physically powerful as R9. But people
Hmm.
forget that how like incredible dribbling R9 had and in his finesse. And Pato had all that, but also just I mean the shot power that he created from nothing. There's some goals where he's just fucking rockets.
Hmm.
No, I love me Pato. We'll always have the Barcelona goal.
Yeah.
Yes, over 100 times yes. I'm sorry we overtrained you and kind of destroyed your physique because it's Italy. You have to be strong.
Yeah. And we're gonna finish it off with perhaps our most infamous number nine, at least in our era, Filippo Inzaghi.
I mean,
Yeah, because
I,
he wore it for so many years. I've just realized that only Giroud held on to the number for more than a season.
it is the professor
Is it
against
curse?
defense against the dark arts in Hogwarts. It's maybe Inzaghi is Voldemort and said after I leave, no one will have this again. I mean, Inzaghi, I want to make some videos about some like longer formats about specific like video essays about certain young players, and Inzaghi would be one of those. It makes no sense. He will tell you it makes no sense. His dribbling move was, especially when he's a little bit quicker and younger, literally kick the ball in between the defender's legs, just kind of throw them at their feet and kind of make it bumble, and then just kind of run with it and get the rebound and get past them. That was his dribble move,
Yeah.
and yet the output is insane. Right time, right place. Lived and died for goals. He would be 2 meters offside and absolutely destroy the poor lineman for raising the flag.
Yeah.
Found a way. I mean, found ways like in the Champions League final. And that year, people forget he scored 3 goals like that, where he would find the right angle to run into Pirlo's free kicks so that the ball would kind of bounce with him
Yeah.
like it happened against
Crazy.
Liverpool and score. And that's not by accident. It's just he's just that much of a sicko. Such a square feet player, but if you in that lineup you pick very few players before Pippo Inzaghi, even though he has the square feet. I love
Yeah.
him, obviously.
I remember you modeled when we played football at lunchtime in school. You modeled your game after Filippo Inzaghi
Yeah,
when we played
yeah,
World Cup. It was me and you. I would battle my heart out, and you just
yeah.
be
You're
there
out
and
there
just
dribbling people, actually doing something. I'm like, look, this is not me. Let
and,
me stay in my lane. I don't need that many
yeah,
touches. Just give me one touch really close to the goal. High percentage touch. That's all I need. Ball in the back of the net.
yeah,
It worked well until the final.
fantastic
Then,
gameplay.
then when I actually had to
Yeah,
play 2-on-2, that was a little bit rougher.
yeah, then we were shocked. But yeah, I feel like it was a good number nine segment just because we have a new number nine to welcome to either the Filippo Inzaghi's or the Alessandro Matris.
No, it was a great segment. I don't want to go too long, but it made me think
Yep.
of another thing connected to this. And now you kind of put your notes away if you still have them, as I pull this up, and we kind of went through it now, so it should be easier for you. I just need to find the actual tweet. But hold. Ah, there it is. So Milan number 9 with full Krug.
Yep.
We're 11 different nationalities in the last
Oh.
number 9s. Can you
Yep.
tell me? I can tell you the nationality, and you can tell me which one they are. I guess it helps that you went through it. Obviously, German is full Krug. Before that,
Yep.
we had a Serbian.
Serbian. Jovic.
Then we had a French.
Giroud.
Yes.
Oli.
Then we had Croat.
Mario Mandzukic.
Yeah, this is the one that no one would remember, but we just went through the segment. Then we had a Polish.
Piontek.
Higuain before that. Argentinian. Before that, Portuguese.
Andre Silva.
Then the Peruvian, as you said, the Peruvian Daug.
The Peruvian Daug Lapadula.
Brazilian before that.
It would have been, was it Pato?
You mentioned them.
I know.
Between Lapadula and
No.
Destro, who's Italian, was the one after that. Luis Adriano, then Destro, and then
Oh,
Torres.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
9 different nationalities in the last number 9. No, sorry,
That's
11
crazy.
different nationalities in number 9. The only streak that's longer is currently the number 8 jersey at Inter.
Okay.
At Inter, 14 different the last 14 players, 14 different nationalities. And there's some really weird names. Jugovic, Farinos, Lamushi, Davids, Pizarro, Ibra, Thiago Motta, Palacio, Jovetic, Rafinha, Vecino, Gosens, Arnautovic, Sucic. Shout out to Giuseppe Pastore, incredible Italian journalist, for this stat.
I thought we had a number 9 curse. I feel like that's almost a number 8 curse.
Yes,
from like Zlatan having number 8. But,
yes, that's really rough.
Some strange names.
Very strange names. But with that, our game zone segment ends, and we can move on.
Game zone.
Welcome to the game
The
zone.
game zone. Welcome to the game zone.
Oh, there we go. I'll clip that. That will be the little musical intro to the segment.
Oh no.
With that, we move on to Fiorentina. Stat is up. We play at 3 o'clock. What'd you make of this game?
What do I make of this game? We're playing against a relegation side. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be 3. It might not even be 3 points. This is
True.
where I might actually predict the first downfall of Milan this season. But we'll see afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, Fiorentina are fighting for their lives. They actually picked up a couple of few points. I think in our end of year review, I said that Fiorentina just have too good of a squad on paper to be relegated. So, but hopefully they don't gain any momentum in staying up in Serie A through us. We seem to have we still don't know the status on Nkunku, right? Some other players might be picked up some knocks, but I'm expecting for us to have a pretty solid starting 11. And just like we mentioned in our previous another segment, I kind of want to see full crew start. That would be great. Let Liao relax and rest a bit / come on as a super sub.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's not the best time to find Fiorentina at the moment. They found their first win of the season, which is crazy, against Udinese. Then lost 1-0 to Parma, then won again against Cremonese. And then we're seconds away from winning against Lazio in a very weird game with some very controversial decisions that ended up 2-2. But it's a team that's more united. That's found the shape, and this is not the best time to meet them. obviously. But again, if we're trying to be the top team that we want to be, this needs to be a win. Things to look out for Fiorentina. They found this 4-3-3 shape. Unfortunately, Moise Kean, who was hurt and only saw spot minutes in the last two games, should be back starting and healthy, which is not great news for us.
It isn't.
If you're looking for keys of the game and watching Fiorentina, I would particularly take a look at Fagioli, who seems to be reborn and been taking the regista spot in the heart of midfield, man of the match in 2 or 3 of the last 3 games. So we're gonna have to see. I can expect Allegri, like he usually does, putting, depending how forward he is, if he falls back, putting Fofana, sort of man mark him. Otherwise, likely Rabiot to take him. So those two obviously are the main thoughts. Gudmundsson, who's very up and down, but I think a player that I value a lot. I think his class is also been doing better. And obviously we saw they bought Solomon, who already produced an assist. I don't know if he'll start, but he'll definitely come off the bench and could give us some tired legs on that side, likely Salamanca's side, some issues. That's what I'd look out for.
Yeah, I'm just looking at our head-to-head throughout the years with Fiorentina. We've drawn a few times, but in every other single game since 2021, there's only been 1 goal in the game, if that makes sense. As in, like, not just 1 goal scored, but it's been like 3-2 or 4-3 or 1-0 or
1 goal
2-1,
difference, yeah.
2-1, 1-0. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, a lot of more high scoring. This game right now, the one tomorrow, screams like 1-0 for either team to me. But if you're right, I have it up also on the screen. A lot of 2-1s, a lot of 2-2s. Not a lot of draws. You have to really go back to 2020, 1-1 for a draw, and not a lot of 0-0s. You have to go back to 2016 for the first 0-0, which is kind of wild.
Didn't Leao score one of his first? It was a first Serie A goals, but I think Fiorentina wearing green and he dribbles half their defense inside the box and slots it on beautifully. That's what I remember.
Was that the one that was called back, or was that? Oh no, that was the Ibra one that was sick, a sick goal that was maybe called the back against Fiorentina as well. Yeah. That was maybe the. I don't know. He didn't like continue directly from there, but that was the start. A star was born moment for Real.
That's where he had his short hair, not the blonde yet, but I think he had short hair,
like,
not shaved,
like skin,
but short,
skin fade on the
and
side, and
I forget how long Leao's actually been at Milan. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't. We're getting old, I know, but
it feels like, oh my god, he's coming to the scene. Like, nah, he's been on the scene. He is that guy. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
For us, Nkuku is back in training, but since we actually have some options for the first time, maybe this year, I don't expect him, to start. Probably doesn't have 90 minutes anyway in his legs, but definitely expect him to feature off the bench. There's going to be some rotation. Obviously, we played. This is maybe the quickest turnaround. I didn't know even this was really possible to play a Thursday 9:00 game to a Sunday 3 is very, very quick. Obviously, we have Como coming up to midweek, so that's why. But it's tough.
Is it even allowed? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they have something against it. Is it because it's 74 hours instead of 72 that it's allowed or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. But usually it's I guess the Como thing messes up, but it's quick. So we've been hearing about rotations, and I expect that. Tomori, a forced sub since he got booked for celebrating in front of the Genoa penalty kick taker after the miss, which is just so Tomori and so stupid. Like, so and also so dumb. Like, you what? Okay, you didn't lose at San Siro against Genoa. Like, what? This guy is not like, and it's not like, okay, we have beef during the game, so you saw, like, stop it.
It's not Çalhanoğlu you're doing it against in the 95th minute.
Exactly.
Then I'll buy him dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And look, maybe some people don't like those at all. I can understand, but in the right moment, I can at least understand it. This was dumb, but for sub, this means that we have no one on the bench for defenders. I mean, Odogu will be there, but it will be those 3, and maybe probably more likely Bartesaghi to drop back during the game if we need to. I do think we'll see Richie start for sure in place of Modric. I don't think we'll see Fofana start. Unfortunately, knowing Max, I think it's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I would love to see Jashari for Modric and Richie for Fofana.
Yeah,
And then up top, I don't know who's going to start. I don't know.
it's a lottery.
It's a lottery. I would love to see Fulkrug and maybe, I don't know, it's so tough. When you don't know what Leao can do and cannot do, maybe it is Fulkrug and Pulisic. Will be very curious to see with Nkunku and Rafa ready to come on. But that's all we can expect. Then I think all that's left
It's predictions.
is predictions. Obviously, none of us got it right against Genoa. Fiorentina, Milan in Firenze. What do you think? Or would you like me to go first?
No, I can go first. I'll
Go
go
for it.
first. I'm a sucker for history and history repeating itself. It's gonna be a 2-1 win for Milan.
2-1 win for Milan. Any scores?
Let's throw in a Füllkrug. Come on, you big German. The big fucking German up top has got to score. And then I'm going to throw in a Salamakers.
Salamaker's not been involved a lot, so that's a good shout. I will take a Milan win. I will take a 1-0. I will take a careful Max Allegri. So 0-1, I guess. But yeah, Milan win by 1. And the goal scorer, I want to say Fulkrug too, but Rafael, I don't even know if he plays. I don't think he starts.
Just Rafael.
But give me Rafael, just because people, criticize his mentality, which makes no sense. This is the best mentality I've seen Leao have and leadership and all that. So give me Rafael to yet again decide a Milan game. And the unbeaten streak continues to 18 and win.
Decent. So 2 wins as well as in we both
Shocker. The boys predict Milan to win. Shocker.
Bias never exists on the AC Milan Zone podcast.
Then I think that's it. Great little podcast. I don't know how long we've been going for.
Nice.
I haven't kept track of it.
Quite a while.
Must be. Yeah, I think it's just over an hour. Yeah.
It's enjoyable.
Are we hopping on for a reaction stream tomorrow, or am I doing it solo? I'm putting you on the spot. I'm like, let's not discuss this.
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'd love to join. I'm joining.
Okay, perfect. Then 3 will probably be on. We're looking forward to having all of you. We've only done 2, but we're having a lot of fun with this after game reaction. Last time we hop on always 5 minutes before on the call. And unfortunately, my stream was a little bit ahead. So this time I'll make sure to not ruin your game. Hopefully it's not as close and chaos as the Genoa one. But I'll make sure to hop on so you can see me, but turn on the volume and maybe turn off even the camera so you don't see my facial reactions. I'm a quite emotive Italian man myself. So beyond that, nothing else to ask. As always, Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.